Guys, it's time. It's happening. Welcome to the EsportsTV Starcraft2 Starleague. I am Wolf. With me is Moonglade, and the hype is real.
The hype is real, Wolf. So excited to be here, man. So excited in this new setup. We're in our own little booth now, just like the pro gamers are in their booth. We got a cast the booth now.
Yeah, no nerds can attack us. We've got a full bulletproof booth around us. Things are a little tight in here, so you can see us up close and in HD right in your faces.
And I mean, we have these fantastic suits to wear as well, man. We are looking fly for this StarCraft day.
We absolutely are. So today is going to be a great day of StarCraft. It's actually the birth of a new StarCraft2 Starleague. We've only really had the GSL as a regular league here in Korea. We had the OSL just one time, really. And then, of course, now we've got the EsportsTV Starleague here, the SSL, as it's been called and abbreviated by fans everywhere. So it's the start of something new. It's the first time in Korea we're really going to have a regular dual StarCraft2 league. And, you know, it's like the Brood War days. We had the OSL and the MSL, and now we've got this going on for StarCraft2.
Yeah, I mean, next year is just going to be insane. There's so much StarCraft in Korea. I mean, two from here, and we have GSL on the side as well. I mean, there's so much happening. Like, with the new WCS rules, obviously all the Koreans have had to come home, except for a couple of lucky ones. Yeah. And now, like, the competition is insane, and we're seeing that today as well with Taser in our last match of the day.
Dude.
He's back in Korea finally. How long has it taken? Like, it's like
it's been a long
as you said before
time.
The cast, it's like he's done full circle, man.
Yeah,
he's finally back.
He started out as somebody nobody really knew. He didn't have much of a StarCraft 1 background. Came into StarCraft 2, started killing it up in Korea, got picked up by Team Liquid, and has traveled the world. And when you think of this guy, you think of the world champion. You think this guy has won more international StarCraft 2 titles than anyone else. And now he's come back to the home ground, the toughest region in the world, to actually try to take titles here as well.
It's going to be a very, very interesting day, that's for sure. I mean, starting off today with Soulkey up against Rogue. It's going to be a fantastic ZVZ, something we don't see that often these days as well.
No, we don't. It seems like Zergs are kind of on a little bit of a downturn here in Korea. Terrans were on the way out. Now they're starting to make a little bit back in, so we see TVT a little bit more often. Well, let's take a look at this so you guys can see exactly what the format for the Starleague is going to be like. The round of 32 is going to be all best of fives, but it's not your traditional bracket stage. It's basically like everybody who wins here goes to the dual tournament. Everybody who loses goes to essentially Code B. They go back to the qualifiers. So yeah. It's like a round of 32, but it's really just a best of five.
Single elimination sort of style.
Single elimination, and you're either in the real tournament or you're not. Kind of like a qualifying stage before you get to groups.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it in WCS terms, it's kind of like the Challenger League where you have to get you win a best of five to get into that into the next stage to try and win the big bucks. You know, win the main tournament.
Now, notice the official maps are the maps you might expect. They're the ladder maps from Season 3. No Dream Pool here. And notice the winner of the tournament is going to take home 40 mil.
Yeah.
And the second place is going to take 10. 2,000 WCS points go to the champion as well. That's a lot of WCS points.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably one of the only ways Koreans are going to get to that World Finals is getting WCS points through this tournament. I'm guessing through GSL at some point. I will have to figure out that at a later date, but yeah, that's a lot of points to win. And as you were saying, the map pool, no Dream Pool. I believe they're going to revert back to the old ladder map pools on the 19th of December, so that's going to happen as well. So
keep in mind, on top of all of this, players in the challenge session, which is where we are right now, before they advance actually to that group stage, they don't get any points. So you actually have to win today. You have to win in that first round if you want any points. Otherwise, it doesn't matter that you qualified. Now, as mentioned before, there's a bit of a shortage of Zerg players, but race distribution is looking pretty good. A lot better than what we were seeing earlier this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad at all. It's great to see Terrans doing well again. They're kind of on the rise. They've kind of figured out, I guess, TVP more than anything else, and the maps, they're getting used to the maps. I mean, 12 Protoss players, 12 Terran players, that's great. 8 Zerg players, kind of expected, but it's not really a bad ratio at all.
Now, notice all the broadcasts will be on 7 p.m., actually, for the rest of the days until we get to that final day where it'll be at 3 p.m. and then 6:30. So I know that was a big mix-up for a lot of people, but
including us. Yeah. We may have been here 4 hours early.
We were here early. We were told to be at 3, but we just got ready. Now, we've got a lot of sick matchups here. Notice that if you look at match 6, you can actually see Scarlet will be playing against TY. I know you guys don't know all of these Korean names. We've got a lot of old names in here as well. At match 15, you can see Younghwa actually faces off against Linok. Just to mention some of those older names.
That is old school.
Yeah. And I mean, a sick lineup of matches all together. Marine King playing on that final match as well versus Fantasy on that 16th match that we'll be seeing. And it is going to be all best of fives, everybody. If you lose, you've got to go back to the qualifiers. If you win, you go to the main tournament, the dual tournament stage.
Yeah, very ruthless format. And it's going to be interesting today as well because there is going to be no breaks between those 5 games. It's going to be straight out, bang out the 5 games, and then move on. So it's going to be pretty grueling, I guess, for the players, but at the same time, I'm sure a lot of them don't really want that break in between a lot of games. They really just want to get into it again. It kind of depends on the player, I guess, there.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point because some players, like to take a little bit of a break, talk to their coach, get, feeling a little bit more focused after a tough loss, for example.
Yeah, that is actually a big point. Like, we're going to have to wait and see if coaches can actually get in there and talk to their players between games because there's really no downtime between the games either. So
there's definitely not going to be a whole lot of time. You're not going to have 5 minutes, 10 minutes to actually talk to somebody. You might have 20 seconds where the coach can come in there and say, remember, stick to the plan, stick to the build, the maps.
You had a proxy base that game. Like, that's why you lost. So, that can help a lot in just the mindset. Like, the player's like, oh, okay, so it was a silly loss. I shouldn't take that too seriously. But that might not be a thing this time.
Exactly. And some players are actually used to having a longer break after, say, the second set in the best of 5, and they're going to have to, push through it today. So let's take a look at our matches for today. We took a broader look of the whole round of 32, but let's take a look at these first 3 best of 5s. Starting things off with a ZVZ Rogue versus Soulkey.
That is going to be a fantastic game. We haven't seen either of these players play in ZVZ in quite some time. I mean, these individual leagues haven't really been going Zerg's way, so we haven't really had a chance to see mirror matchups from this race in quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time, Moonglade. And then we've got 2 PVTs, actually. Classic makes a return. He'll face off against Cure, a player we haven't seen do extremely well except in Season 3 of the GSL. Then Terminator versus Tasia. Tasia, I think, definitely the favorite here, but Terminator keeps doing really well in these qualifiers.
He keeps qualifying
to the stage.
Yeah, I mean, he did it in Hot 6 as well. Like, we don't know how he does it, but he performs really well in these low-pressure situations. But when he gets to the main event, it seems to be his biggest hurdle of all.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see if he's fixed that today.
Yep. Keep in mind, Cure just 1 game away of actually being at that GSL Finals. He lost to Innovation in a TVT, and, he could have been the one who beat Sue had he been able to make it all the way. I mean, he made it a lot further than most people expected.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, some very interesting games.
All right. Crowd is hyped. I'm hyped. Are you hyped, Moonglade?
I am super hyped, man. I cannot wait for the ZVZ.
Okay, let's take a look at Rogue's results. Getting 3rd place in the MSI Beat tournament. Making it to the round of 16 in the Kespa Cup. Got to Code S for Season 3, but didn't advance past the round of 32. And you can see in the World Championship for IAM Season 8, he made it to the round of 16 as well.
Yeah, we haven't really seen any ZVZ from this guy in quite a while. Same with Soulkey. I mean, the last we really saw of him was like, I'd have to say in Pro League more than anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
Besides that, like, it's statistically his worst matchup.
He actually just hasn't appeared in too many televised matches since Pro League in general. This guy was considered at the time to be one of the best Zergs in the world, even though he's a little bit quieter about it than this player here, who was considered to be the best in the world for a long time.
Yeah, recently joining TCM Gaming, only, 1 or 2 days ago, I think it was
just
announced.
A few days ago.
After they released First and Yoda. They picked up Soulkey, a great pickup. He's been performing very well. He's the only Zerg that did well in the Hot 6 Cup, making it to, I believe, the round of 8.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying, he was making a bit of a comeback there after a bit of a weaker performance at WECG's Korea National Tournament, where he only made it to the round of 16. You can see he only made it to the round of 16 again there in Season 3 of Code S. So, that sounds like, well, that's pretty good. He got to the round of 16 at Code S. But for him, he's done a lot better statistically speaking. In fact, winning a season in 2013.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, his ZVZ is his best matchup by far. So that's another thing to note as we go into this. Though it has been a while since we have seen Soulkey's ZVZ in action. He did beat Bong Bong in the Code S qualifiers 2-0. That's one thing. But, I mean, looking at the Code S qualifiers for Rogue, he actually defeated Sue 2-0. But Sue seems to be kind of on a downward spiral at the moment.
Absolutely. He definitely does. And I'm hoping he can actually get out of that going into next year because he was definitely one of the best Zergs in the world. He was doing so well, so consistently, and now he's not even in the GSL.
He really needs a holiday, I think, at this point. He has had too many second places.
Alrighty, guys. Let's get into the Zerg versus Zerg, the very first match here at the SSL. Down in the bottom left. In the blue for TCM, it's Soulkey. Formerly SKT, formerly Woongjin Stars before that. Always been a top Zerg, even since Starcraft 1 and his opponent. To the top right for Jin Air Green Wings, it's Rogue. You may remember him as Savage, but definitely made a bigger name for himself on his new ID.
Much better ID, I would have to say. The Savage isn't bad, but Rogue is just better. I think it means a lot, Wolf. I mean,
I agree. Now it looks like we're going to see a 9 pool here from Rogue, in fact, already on this 2-player map.
Yeah, not a bad choice on Overgrowth. Very short rust distance. It is a 2-player map, so there's no getting it wrong. And by the looks of things, we're going to have to wait and see what Soulkey is going to go for. If he goes for that 15 pool, he will have the build order advantage. If he goes for that 16 hatch, 15 hatch, not 16, that'd be even worse. He would be at quite a disadvantage.
Absolutely. So let's see exactly how he wants to play this. Obviously, a build like this shows that Rogue wants to be aggressive early on, and it might actually show a lack of confidence in the late game versus a player like Rogue, or rather a player like Soulkey, because he wants to just try to see what he can get done here, test the waters first.
It's also a thing to kind of look at, like, is Soulkey the kind of Zerg that's always going to go hatch first in these matchups? So it's something you can have a safe bet on doing against. Like you know what, he 90% of the time he's going hatch first. And he is this game as well. We're going to have to wait and see if it's going to be a Baneling follow-up. I think it will be.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, he's got 3 drones and gas already here.
Very safe to say. And this is a huge build order advantage for Rogue. It can go wrong if there's critical mistakes from Rogue. Ooh. Oh, no. And it is a 16 gas as well. So it's going to be so far behind the spawning pool. Soulkey's going to have a really rough time defending against this.
That he is. I mean, the spawning pool is so late here, just now being added right now as the Lings come across the map. And he's going to see that with his Overlord.
As
he's so disappointed, man.
Yeah, he sees it coming, and it's not good. Not good at all. This could be a very, very quick game for Rogue, and a great way to build momentum in the start of the series.
All right, here come those Lings now towards that base. Now, do you think he's just going to go ahead and go into the main? Or is he just going to poke?
I think he can harass drones because he wants to stop mining as soon as possible, so he has no real bank when that spawning pool finally finishes. And while he's doing that, he's going to be making some Banelings, probably with his 7th and 8th Zerglings.
Right, and they can actually just come in a bit of a later time and surprise Soulkey here. Good drone micro by Soulkey so far, just kind of stacking them up away from the Zerglings, trying to buy time. His spawning pool is done now, but those are those 2 Banelings you were talking about that come late.
Yeah, and these Zerglings are going to have to find that Spine Crawler as well before he gets finished, because that can really help out in defending against this.
Yeah. All right, 1 drone already going down here. He gets 2.
Bad trades there from Soulkey. He's going to be very, very careful. Here comes the Baneling.
Oh, look at that perfect hit on all those Zerglings. Spinecrawler's almost done, though. It's another decent Baneling hit. The Spinecrawler looks like it will perhaps finish. Oh, not quite.
Not quite.
Oh, look at that. Forces the cancel on those Banes.
Very important there. While these Zerglings are distracted with the Spinecrawler, he is microing his drones pretty well.
But he's not really mining with them, and that is going to cost him big in the long run. He's not going to have that extra economy. He needs to hold this off. More and more Lings streaming down here, and those 2 Banelings are almost finished. If they pop on these Lings, it's all over.
Oh, yeah, it's about to end, I think. If these Banelings get a good hit on the Zerglings, there's nothing left to defend.
And look at that. Basically perfect there. And this is basically the end of the story, Moonglade. For Soulkey, the rest of these Lings are getting trapped. More and more Banelings coming down. He still has 13 Harvesters to 9, but he lost a lot of mining time.
He did lose a tremendous amount.
Oh, he gets the cancel on that, though. That was 1 small victory.
1 Baneling is all it takes to get rid of all the Zerglings again, reset the Zergling count for Soulkey.
And Rogue just some good micro here, protecting the Baneling, making sure it gets its maximum efficiency.
He's going to just save it until he really needs it.
Exactly. Just protect it, keep it alive.
No.
Oh, the drones stack up, and they all take a ton of splash damage, and that's it. GG.
Okay, well, you know what? It's the build order win. So Soulkey shouldn't be too upset about that. It's going to happen. If they catch you out, if you're going hatch first and they're going to go 9-pool Baneling, it's almost impossible to defend unless they make a really critical mistake.
Hatch first, gas before pool. You know, it's not just a hatch first. The pool is so late.
Yeah, that is the kind of like the riskiest build against a 9-pool like that.